For this session, I wrote 53 words. For this session, I wrote 55 words, and my week's total word count is 464 words. I spent all day yesterday and a good portion of the morning today getting up at 4 to work on edits. These are the cards I pulled, and I really feel like it captures the feeling of editing. Between yesterday and today, I have managed to completely edit my entire manuscript. And now, being done with my first pass of my comprehensive edit, I'm feeling so much better with my manuscript, and I'm now really seeing how it's coming together at a big picture level. Being fully honest, however, yesterday while I was at the halfway point of my edits, I hated everything. But today, having now finished my edits, I love my work again, and it's just this up and down. There are so many ugly phases in the writing process, and I remind myself to trust the process because once it is done, then I can really decide how I really feel about the whole thing. And then at that point, when it is done, I'm just gonna put it out there anyways and then carry on with the next project. It amazes me how love-hate the right life really is. And if you can relate, let me know. And it also amazes me how seeing my manuscript at a sentence by sentence level and then seeing it in a more holistic picture, how it changes the whole experience. I tell you though, I hate editing, which is why I'm breaking it in parts. I'm trying to do it every 20,000 or so words. And I think this is a good way to preserve my sanity in the writing process. I am, however, really, really happy that I got that first comprehensive edit done. I find it interesting that Solomon in the Bible was actually a nihilist. I have been thinking about rethinking current assumptions about passion. I find it interesting in The Possessed by Dostoevsky, his depiction that someone who is open and honest and direct, how they can come across as rushed or hurried, even if they're not speaking in a rushed or frenzied manner. The lack of ceremony being in itself a hurried manner of speaking. I find it interesting how language originates in the masculine, and this makes me think that silence and stillness is of the feminine. I have been reading Camille Paglia's works, and I find it interesting how she notes that feminist women, how often they will argue against the patriarchy, very much using the language of patriarchy itself. Yet I also find it interesting that in the Western world, women generally tend to speak more than men, at least socially. And I've been wondering about this inversion of masculine and feminine in language versus silence. I think speaking out and learning when to hold one's tongue are valuable skills, whether man, woman, or non-binary, and that there are times and seasons to speak out or to keep quiet. Speaking in the perspective of a woman who values communication, I wonder too that there might be an overemphasis on talking to get one's thoughts out and to develop understanding. I continue my contemplations in paradox, and I've also been thinking about how to reshape my readership. I think the way that one reads books should not stay stagnant, just as with anything in life that we wish to see progress in. I've also been thinking about how to study without being in a beta wave brain state. So far, the alternative seems to be this very loose intuitive style of learning, which is also incredibly powerful. However, I would like to amp up my learning methods, but I don't want to also push myself to the extremes and be on the edge of burnout either. Personally, from many difficult experiences, I have learned the hard way that sustaining a beta wave state for overlong can have rather disastrous consequences. I enjoy alpha wave state learning, but I do feel like that also has its limitations, or that perhaps I haven't really figured out how to capitalize on its use. These are some of the random things I think about, and now I'm gonna get to my writing session, and then I will add the clip at the end of this video, and that'll be it for this vlog. For this session, I wrote 45 words, and that is a wrap for this vlog.